My name is Maxine Richmond, and I'm honored to co-chair the Rhode Island Interfaith Coalition to Reduce Poverty. We are a coalition of diverse religious communities and advocacy partners throughout the state who have come together since 2008 to fight poverty. We connect, educate, empower, organize, and advocate. On behalf of the coalition, it is my pleasure to welcome you all this morning to our 8th annual Interfaith Poverty Conference, and to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us. We are very excited that so many of you has come as part of a team. If you're here as a team from an organization or congregation, please lift up your signs. There are more than probably 20 different organizations. Thank you so much for bringing everyone here. We are so pleased to have some of our elected officials with us this morning. We will be joined by Senator Gail Golden, Representative Aaron Ruttenberg, Representative and Chaplain Robert Lindsay. Representative Ruttenberg, do you want to just shake your hand? I just saw you walk in. Thank you for being with us. Representative Lauren Hearn and Representative Carlos Tabone. And there'll be other folks here, and we'll try to announce them as they come in. Thank you all for what you do for Rhode Island. We are fortunate that we will be joined by 3 of our mayors later as well. Mayor Scott Abedisian of Warwick, Mayor James Diosa of Central Falls, and Mayor Jorge Eloza of Providence. The work that you all do at the State House and at the municipal level is a central part of our struggle to end poverty. This morning's conference is entitled Tikkun Olam, Repairing Rhode Island. Tikkun Olam is a key concept in my Jewish religion. Tikkun Olam, literally translated, means repairing the world, healing the world. Rhode Island, our beautiful state, also needs healing and repair. There has been much said about physical infrastructure. That is not why we are here to talk about anything today. Rather, we are here to talk about an even deeper level of repair, a healing of the fundamental brokenness that has led 1 in every 8 Rhode Island households to lack adequate food, while 1 in 5 Rhode Island children live in households below the federal poverty line. And 14.3% of all Rhode Islanders live in poverty, the highest rate in New England. Our Interfaith Coalition is dedicated to working to ensure that all Rhode Islanders have the basics: affordable housing, nutritious food, accessible health care, equitable education, and work with decent wages. We are so delighted to welcome this morning's keynote speaker, who lives by Tikkun Olam, Rabbi Jonah Pessner, Director of the Religious Action Center in Washington, D.C. Rabbi Pessner's signature accomplishment has been to encourage Jewish communities in interfaith efforts to reach across lines of race, class, and faith in campaigns for social justice. We know we all eagerly look forward to hearing Rabbi Pessner, learning from him, and being inspired by him to work even harder to reduce poverty in Rhode Island. Over 250 of us began this year together in the rotunda of the State House for our annual vigil on the first working day of the new legislature. We gathered to bear witness to our diverse traditions' common call for economic justice. We heard Bishop Gonzalez's stirring call to remember those voices who are so often forgotten. Children struggling with hunger, veterans without homes, so many of the working poor who struggle each and every day in our cities and towns with economic structures that are pushing them out or leaving them behind. Since then, we have been raising our voices to our elected officials on key issues, increasing the earned income tax credit and raising the minimum wage, reducing school suspensions, expanding affordable housing, making driver's license available to undocumented Rhode Islanders, expanding access to quality early childhood education, protecting the senior disabled no-fear bus pass, and removing guns from convicted domestic violence abusers. We encourage you now to look at the materials on your table. The advocacy postcard for earned income tax credit, and there's some also for the bill against domestic violence abusers and guns. And this is a letter to our elected officials, our leadership, asking them to support the advocacy platform that we've just talked about. Please take the next minute or two to fill them out, and we will collect them later and deliver them to our elected officials. Because now, more than 4 months since the vigil at the State House, we have gathered again to dive deeper into the questions and challenges of poverty in Rhode Island. This morning, we will begin with an invocation by Chaplain Adnan H. Wood-Smith, and continue with a faith reflection by Reverend Nikita McAllister. We will then hear from our dynamic keynote speaker, Rabbi Jonah Peshner, and reflect together on a few key questions. We will dive deeper into key issues through the morning's workshop, focusing on senior support, the race gap, working with mayors, and our legislative advocacy agenda. Following our breakout workshops, we'll return to this room to hear the state of the state from Rhode Island policy experts Elizabeth Burke-Bryan and Linda Katz, and have a Q&A with Rabbi Peshner, and then end the morning with his rousing call to action. Most importantly, we gather together to challenge each other and ourselves to remain educated, active, committed, and moving forward in the fight to reduce poverty in Rhode Island. Before I end, I want to extend a special thank you to our major conference sponsor. The Rhode Island Foundation, our primary funder of this conference and our work throughout the year, deserves our gratitude and support. Likewise, we are indebted to the Jewish Alliance of Greater Rhode Island, our fiscal sponsor and generous provider of office space and materials. Today's event is also sponsored by many of our friends and supporters. To the United Health Plan of Rhode Island, a gold level sponsor of today's event, a special thank you. Our sincere thanks also to our silver level sponsor, United Way of Rhode Island, to our bronze level sponsors, American Baptist Churches of Rhode Island, the Economic Progress Institute, and the Providence Community Health Centers, and to Arthur Robbins, who has been so generous over the years in donating hotel accommodations for all our keynote speakers. Thank you all for what you do in the fight to reduce poverty here in Rhode Island. We are very grateful. We also want to thank Rhode Island Kids Count staff, Wilsa Galazzo, who is right there. Wilsa, thank you for all your help at this conference. And the interns from the Rhode Island Coalition for the Homeless for making the great centerpieces that are on your table. Aren't they great? These toolboxes are a generous donation provided by Benny's, and this is what makes me almost have tears in my eyes, will be donated after the event to people moving out of homelessness and into homes to help stop it. Finally, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our Interfaith Coordinator, Emily Jones, who has been with us since August and has done a superb job in organizing the coalition and coordinating. Emily, can you just raise your hand? Thank you again, Emily. You have just done a marvelous job. And will all the steering committee members of our Interfaith Coalition please stand? Carpenter, could you please stand? We just want to say Marie has decided to take new journeys in life, and thank you for everything you've done for our coalition since we began. And to my colleagues that I work with, thank you all for your dedication to the coalition and for working together to reduce poverty and to build pathways to economic security for us all. It is such a privilege for me to work with you. And to you all gathered here from so many allied organizations and congregations, thank you again for your presence this morning and your work for social justice throughout the year. May we all continue together to do the work of Tikkun Olam, repairing Rhode Island. Thank you. A few announcements. Our hashtag is End Poverty Rhode Island. Everybody please stop tweeting. Thank you. And I see that a Representative Joy Curran is here. Thank you.